What's up, family? It is I again, just stopping in to say, stay motivated, y'all. It's a lot of stuff going on in the world, a lot of stuff that we don't understand, a lot of stuff that some of us don't even pay attention to or can even comprehend, so it just slips under the radar. But keep your minds open. And when I say mind, I don't mean like in the physical sense. I mean like don't overlook things. Like, you know how somebody can be talking and somebody can be getting deep down in something, and it'll sound like a bunch of conspiracy theories, or it'll just sound like they just going off in a rant. I am encouraging you all to be open-minded, you know, um, because it's a reality in different realms spiritually. So what somebody could be going deep down in depths about because you don't understand it, um, don't dismiss it. You know, don't write it off as a person being crazy or a person losing their mind. Just keep an open mind about what realm are they working in, what realm are they seeing this stuff in that is causing them to have this detail of what they're trying to talk to you about or trying to put out into the world. You know, it's a lot of people trying to blow whistles about what's really going on in society, and then you have people that are like, oh, this person is just overthinking, you know what I'm saying, overthinking the situation, and it's not really it's not really what it is, and you just overthinking it. Never say that about anything that somebody says. If it's too good to be true, chances are it's true. You know, and it's a lot of stuff that's too good to be true that turns out to be true. They just put it in the movies. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff that they try to write off as fiction, but it's really nonfiction. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff they slip under the radar, like the Matrix movie. Man, I was over the weekend. I sat down and I binge watched all three episodes, all three movies of the Matrix. And what I learned from those three movies is that you have people, you got a handful of different characters. You got people that understand what's going on in society and they want to be in on the trick. You got you got the people that's falling victim to the trick and they don't see it at all. They just living life. Then you got people that's falling victim to the trick and that's becoming awake to it and just don't know how to adapt to the truth and what's really happening in the real environment. And then you got people that's controlling the whole thing, that's looking at the people that's trying to come out and the people that are already in it and trying to see how they can get them, how they can manipulate them to stay in it. And you know what I'm saying? It's, you know, how we define it is by saying that we're woke. You know, when you hear that term a lot, this person is woke. And so what does woke mean? Woke is not like I was asleep and then uh, I was slobbing on my pillow and then all of a sudden I had to get up for work or something like that and I'm woke. You know what I'm saying? Not like that woke. I mean like when we say woke, we mean like spiritually woke, like your third eye is open. You're seeing everything. You're seeing the play of the enemy, and you're recognizing the strategies that the enemy is putting out against you and against the people around you, and you can see the setup. And that's what woke mean. Like you can see the setup, and at that point, you're deciding whether you want to be part of that setup or you want to be away from that setup, and you want to go out and grab some people and save them from falling into that setup, and that's kind of the category that I fall into, man. It's so much stuff that I realize that they try to push off in movies as fiction, you know what I'm saying, and or nonfiction, but turns out that it's fiction, A lot of stuff, it's a lot of truth behind it. A lot of the documentaries that they put out, man, and they try to put their own spin on it and make it entertaining for you, so you can write it off as just something that it was in a movie one day. But all of these stories that they come up with has some sort of history in life. There's nothing that any of us have ever thought of or gotten creative about that hadn't already existed. If you could think about it, that means it already exists. It already happened somewhere before. So I would just encourage y'all to keep your mind open, man. Keep your mind open. Start paying attention to what's going on around you. Start looking at what's in the news. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people that don't like to, pay attention to the news because it's a lot of hate going on. It's a lot of craziness. But man, you got to stay in tune with what's going on, so you know how to maneuver out here in these streets and just in the environment. You got to know when to move, when not to move, and also you got to keep your mind open for the spirit. You got to keep your connection with God, so he can guide you through this madness. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only way you're gonna make it through. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get too spiritual on y'all, but you gotta have some sort of connection with God, man. You gotta have that, because that's your navigation right there, man. And in this day and time, with how technology is going, I remember like before MapQuest and Google Map and all that came out, man. It was just, if you wanted to get around, you had to know how to get around. You had to have a map book or a map or something like that. You had to have that on hand in order to navigate through the land, or you was gonna be lost. And then if you got too lost, you had to pull over to the side of the road and ask somebody. You had to pull over in the gas station and be like, hey man, I'm lost, man. I'm looking for this part right here. Where am I at on this map here? Can you show me? But now that everything is digital, you don't have to have that common sense no more. You don't have to have that skill of understanding the map and how to navigate, because you got systems that's gonna do it for you already. But at the same time, that allows them to manipulate the information that's being put out, so you don't know exactly what's true and what's false about anything that you really getting in contact with now. So when I say keep your mind open, I mean like you gotta stay fine-tuned, stay on your toes. Don't allow the technology to take over everything that you're thinking about. You got to, sorry about that, but you got to continue to elevate your mind, continue to stimulate your mind and gain your knowledge. Don't just go off of what's in the technology, what you find on the internet to be true. Go out and get the information, and keep an open mind when you're doing your research and all that stuff, and you seeing everything going on around you. Keep an open mind. Don't think about it in the biased sense. You know what I'm saying? Don't think about it in the biased sense. Like even in the political aspect of things. With the president we got right now, there's a lot of people that don't agree with what he got going on, and it's a lot of people that agree with it. You know what I'm saying? But in true reality, he's not in charge. He is not in charge. He's just a face of a group of people that's pushing the envelope and that's pushing an agenda to get things done that they've been wanting to get done for a long time. So think about that before you start bashing him as a individual. Think about what he's dealing with. Keep an open mind about that stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on that manipulates people to be the reason why, to be the way they are. you know. And then you got a lot of stuff that's happening where, some people really are that way, but most of the time, man, it's situations that people fall under, and they just trying to fight and keep what they got. So they doing all kind of crazy stuff to keep it. Or they trying to get to the next phase in their life, and then you got somebody that got a crazy idea of what you need to go through to get it. Manipulating the system, blackballing, all of that stuff is real. uh, Using mind techniques, using frequencies to manipulate people's minds and get them to do what they want them to do. But keep your mind open. Pay attention to all the crazy stories and all the crazy accusations that people are saying about religion and about science, and how science is proof that God exists. We can go deep down into that rabbit hole, but I'm not gonna take it there with y'all. I want y'all to get out there and do y'all research. I want y'all to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, feel it in your heart that's what your desire is to find out the truth about where you come from, why you are here, what your agenda is, what your goal should be, and just keep pushing for that. Well, I forgot where I was at, and sorry for that again, but pay attention to the signs, and everything that's going on around you. Don't just take somebody's word, for what they saying, and that's what it is. Get out there, research. If you're a spiritual person, don't just research the religion that you believe in. And I will say that again. Do not just research one religion and bash every other religion and say that they're all wrong and that your religion is the best one. Know what you believe in all that you believe. Know what you believe. Research what you believe. Cross compare what you believe to the historical data. That means the physical landmarks, the language of the time when they was dealing with what they was dealing with. If you're dealing with scriptures, go into the scriptures, figure out the timeline, follow the timelines all the way back to the historical database. Okay, Google it, figure out what's going on, get into a library and pull up the books. Pull up the different books that cover what your religion is saying and figure out the proof. Find the proof for yourself. Like, not even so you can go out and preach it to somebody else, but find the proof for yourself. And this is how you really find out if you believe in the right or wrong thing. And this goes with everything. You get your belief, right? You get your belief system together. Everything that you believe to be true. And you try to debunk it yourself. You put yourself in the position of somebody that don't believe and try to destroy what you believe. Try to find information that will literally debunk what you believe. And if you can't find no data, I mean, like, hardcore facts about how you can debunk what you believe, then you believe it, that it should be true. Now, however, if you find things in history, timelines, all of that go against what you believe, you have to follow the facts. Okay? You don't get mad. You do not get mad because what you was taught your whole life is not all the way true. Okay? And this is with all religions. I'm not just speaking based on one religion. This is with every single one religion. Because what we have to understand is that human beings actually wrote the material and translated it, to so it can be understood in languages that did not exist back then. You know what I'm saying? And as far as languages being translated into other languages, you have to consider that there are words and there are meanings to words that change when you translate. So you got to understand that there's going to be some things off about your research. That's fine. But the hardcore facts, when you start comparing 80 years, 5 years, 100 years separation in the data, and things are not lining up, then you can start separating the stuff that's real from the stuff that was added, and the stuff that was true from the stuff that was false. So get out and get your education on. Edification is the strongest tool that we have right now. Because as I said in one of my other videos, man, like, it is still legal to learn. It is still legal to practice religion openly. It is still legal for you to go and figure out the information and research yourself. So while we still have it, then you need to utilize it, man. Go after it. And also, don't forget, keep an open mind, man. You gotta keep that open mind, like the whole way through, not just halfway through. Don't read the passages that you grew up listening to, and the stuff that you grew up and you knew everything about. You know it already from you just know it, word for word. Don't look at that stuff. Look at the stuff that you don't know, the stuff that the preachers never really preach about because they don't understand it. Read about that stuff, okay? Get up in there and start picking apart the scriptures that's talking about what you should and should not do. That'll blow your mind within itself. It's a lot of scriptures about what you should and shouldn't do. And then the new versus old. That's a big old one there, especially in well, I won't even go through it. I ain't even gonna go there. I'm gonna leave it up to y'all to do y'all research. I'm just gonna push y'all to get in there and get it done. You heard me? I need y'all to be on my level, because when I really start going in, I'm gonna need y'all to back me. I'm gonna need y'all support. I'm gonna need y'all praying for me. I'm gonna need everything it's gonna take for me to be everywhere in which I need to be, And that's how we're gonna keep it. But I love y'all, and I want to see y'all do great things. And that's how we're gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it pushing, and I'm gonna talk to y'all on the next one. I love y'all. All right, I'm out.